So today I'm going to talk to you very briefly about Money Day. And for me, Money Day is something that I started doing about 2 years ago, every single month, on the first of every single month, without fail. Because before that, I didn't really know exactly what was coming in and what was going out of my bank when it comes to investments, property, business, income, all of those things. I had an idea of what I think should be coming in each month and what I think should be going out each month, but I was never 100% accurate or clear. And that's what Money Day gives me now. So I'm going to talk to you about Money Day from a property investing perspective, and definitely for landlords. There's a real important part for landlords, but also for business owners as well. I guarantee there are some business owners out there that if you're really honest with yourself right now, and probably property investors and landlords too, if you're really honest with yourself right now, you don't 100% know exactly what goes in and out of your account on a monthly basis without sitting down and analysing it. If you sit down, go through your statements, yeah, sure, you'll know. And you might know roughly what you get each month. And I'm talking about things like when maybe a tenant has not paid for a month historically, when you've had to pay out for a letting fee, or whether you had to pay out for some maintenance or repairs, or whether, if you're a business owner, whether there's a couple of little bits of outgoing or expenditure that's gone out that you maybe look at and you just go, oh, okay, yeah, that's just come out this 1 month only. All of those little expenses and all of those little bits of income all add up, and that's what Money Day is for. So let me first of all explain how Money Day is vital for landlords, and I'm going to come on to property investors after that. And all of this, by the way, will be absolutely relevant to business owners. And if you are a business owner, I urge you to have a Money Day every single month. 1 day every single month, religiously. It's got to be religious. And your staff, by the way, sorry, I said I was going to talk briefly, but no chance with me. You've heard my podcast before. Hey, that's just me, isn't it? I try. Staff, if you have staff members, or if you're a property investor or a landlord that has staff or team members looking after your properties, then Money Day for them as well. Now, maybe they're not accessing your actual bank, but they have to reconcile month in, month out, exactly what money they have brought into the business. And this is going to do two things. First of all, it lets them understand the business. But number two, it lets them understand their worth in the business and their value. And if they're not contributing enough, then they will be the first to see that. Anyway, property investors and landlords. Sorry, landlords first. Now, if you have a Money Day, then you can obviously see rent coming in, which is your only income from property. But you can also see your insurance payments going out, your mortgage payments going out, your management fee, any maintenance, any repairs, any interest that's been charged, any late fees, overdraft fees, loan repayments, life insurance, accident, sickness, unemployment, building insurance, all of those things that may have come out in that month, you can reconcile on Money Day. Ignore them until Money Day, I promise you, because that's the reason why a lot of you listening to this right now maybe don't 100% know exactly what happens with your money every single month. It's because you probably look at it most days without a goal in mind. So you'll look at it on Tuesday and you'll just be looking at, right, what money's come in, how much have I got in the bank? And then on Friday, you'll look at it again, right, what's come in, how much have I got in the bank? Now, you may well know on a day-to-day basis how much you've got in the bank, but you won't know how your money is working. And that's what Money Day does. It's a day for money, dedicated to money. Not just making it, analysing it. How much have you made this month? How much have you lost this month? What's come in? What's gone out? If you get that information, Mr. and Mrs. Landlord, then you can see where you might be able to optimise. And that's the key, optimising. Expenditures, you can check your insurances, you can review your insurances. Are you coming up for a mortgage renewal? You can check different payments. How much money can you extract? If you've got random expenditures that maybe you didn't expect to come out, you can see them and you can act on them. But you can only do that if you audit your accounts once a month. It's very simple. It doesn't take too long. So that's for you, Mr. and Mrs. Landlord. Now, property investors, maybe slightly different, but similar rule. On your money day, you can, number one, analyse what you spent out for that property in real, actual money. Because bear in mind, you might get an invoice from a company and they're saying to you, right, the fee for this service, I don't know, let's take a lawyer for an example. Your lawyer sends you the completion statement for a property that you've bought and they'll tell you, right, our fee is, I don't know, let's just say 750 quid. Let's just make it nice and easy for me. Our fee is £800, let's just say. Now, you then in your own mind think, okay, great, that's £800, but they will probably add VAT onto that as well. So it's more like 1,000 quid once you've included the VAT. And there are similar things across the board. Do you know what? A key one that I always miss is when I've got a contractor doing a refurbishment for me and they've quoted 10 grand for a refurbishment, for an example. And then when they're going through that refurbishment, I always pay in installments. I don't know if anybody else has that same thing, where I don't pay up front for refurbishments, and that's a rule. I've learned that the hard way. And when you're driving down the road and somebody just doesn't want to pull in to let you past, I never see the point in that. Anyway, yeah, so I pay installments for refurbishments, and I'll tell you about that story another time actually, but it was a pretty tough one to learn. So yeah, and at the end of the refurbishment, if they've quoted me 10,000, there are always little bits. There's always something that goes wrong, something else that needs doing. And at the end of the refurbishment, in your mind, you're thinking, oh, that was a 10 grand refurbishment. But it might have been 10,300 because after the refurbishment, they noticed that maybe a little bit of extra plastering was required or something like that. So it gives you the chance to analyse how much you've paid out for those refurbishments, for maintenance as well. Let's say you need a boiler replaced, 1,500 quid, there's that transaction. Oh, and the plumber or the gas engineer has charged me an additional 100 quid for repairing something else whilst he was doing that job. So Money Day gives you a chance, Mr. and Mrs. Property Investor, to really analyse what you've spent out. And if you can analyse what you've spent out, then you can analyse your actual return on investment, your actual yield. How much cash have I actually used for this purchase? Now, I'm guilty of this because before I did Money Day, I would look at the purchase price, great. I would look at the legal fees, great. I would almost estimate a little bit at the beginning, right, I think the legal costs are going to cost me 1,200 quid, survey's going to be 500 quid, mortgage fees are going to be this, arrangement fees, broker fees are going to be all this, mortgage payments or bridging finance payments after I've completed are going to be this. And I kind of estimate it, and then once that property's complete, I never checked it over. So I was always working on the same yield that I'd calculated prior to completing that project, that property investment. And that's why I then started doing Money Day. And actually this came about because I bought a property which went over budget on the refurb, about 2.5 grand over budget actually. And after that I thought, I need to know exactly what I've spent here. But I can't do that on a day-to-day basis because you're just starting to throw tons and tons and tons of additional things and information and data into a constant calculation. You're never actually analysing it all in one go, project by project, month by month. And I bet most of you are like that. You kind of just feel like it's a good investment. You feel like you're making profit. You don't 100% know how much. You don't really know what your actual yield is. And that's important. Very important. So what I'd love from here is, first of all, for everybody to schedule a money day. Now, I do it on the 1st of each month because that's when the majority of my income comes in from my letting agent, from my estate agent, from my property broker, from everywhere that income comes into my business and to me. That's kind of the day where it's all in. And then it's a good marker as well. If you just go the 1st to the 1st, then you have a full month in, month out of money in, money out. Simple as that. The second thing I do, it's going to sound a bit geeky, but I export the transactions into a Excel document and I write notes next to every single expenditure of what it is. And by doing that, it prompts me to work out, do you know what? I don't need that. Or maybe I could combine these now into a portfolio insurance, portfolio landlord insurance. And by the way, if you want an awesome portfolio landlord insurance, I'll never go for a different one now. I just add properties to it. Then give me a shout. I'll connect you up. It's tom@pinkstreet.co.uk. I think you should know that off by heart by now. But anyway, so yeah, things like that where I just have a prompt or something that reminds me I need to change that. Little things like council tax, for an example. There was a property that was empty and I noticed that I'd paid council tax on it, but I didn't claim the relief for council tax at that time. So that prompted me to do it. Anyway, all of those things give you a reason to have a money day, and you should always do that. So I'd love to hear, first of all, how you look after your money and how you track it. And hey, be honest, right? We're all human beings. We're all proud. No one wants to make mistakes. No one wants to get anything wrong. But you know what? If you're honest with yourself, I think that most people listening to this would agree that they tend to just check their account sporadically, if that's the word, spontaneously, impulsively, rather than set a day, one day per month to audit your own accounts. And I bet, look, hey, you might be that person that is not like that. I know people that are very much not like that. I was always like that, in that it was just, I'm going to check my account. I'm going to check my account. I'm going to check how much money have I got in my account. Okay, how much, you look at it without really analysing it. So that's a really important thing to do. And you know what? If you have a business with staff, then have your staff, as I said earlier, have your staff do their own money day. How much did they bring in? How much did they cost? Where do they think the business can optimise? Now, I share quite a lot of expenditure with the staff. My sales department, for an example, they know exactly how much it costs to run that business, to operate that business. They completely understand their operating costs. They also understand what their own wages are. So they can see that if they don't bring in the required amount to the business, they will make a loss. And they analyse that. So when my sales manager, who is incredible, by the way, when my sales manager comes to me after money day and he says, this is how much we brought into the business and this is how much profit we made, it makes me so proud. It's awesome. Same with lettings. This is how much we brought in and this is how much we paid out. It's just great. And it's the same with property. You can just easily see in one snapshot once a month, this is how much I brought in, this is how much I paid out, this is how much profit I made this month. And that all will contribute towards your yield. Now, also just another thing you might want to have, if you would like my tracker, my money tracker, which constantly calculates yield, income, expenditure, profit, loss, if you would like mine, as a template, then email me, tom@pinkstreet.co.uk. I'll happily share it. I've got no I've got no worries about that. You won't get my figures, obviously, but I'll at least share the template with you. And hey, I should probably say while I'm talking about all this, if you would like, two things actually. If you would like to talk about managing your property and you want to talk to a managing agent, give me a shout. I will have a discussion with you about how you can best manage your property, or how my company, Pink Street, can manage your property for you, find your next tenants. You know what, we've been doing it for years now and we've become pretty good at finding good tenants. That's the key, isn't it? Getting good tenants that can definitely pay the rent month in, month out, so that when you do money day, you're not having to work out missed payments or things like that. And then because you've got a missed rent payment, you've had to pay a bank charge or something silly like that. That all starts with having a good tenant. So if you want us to find you a good tenant out, and or if you want us to manage your property for you, then give us a shout. tom@pinkstreet.co.uk. And the second thing I was going to say is, if you would like to find a really good buy-to-let property investment, I get offered loads and loads, because look, I've been doing this for 22 years now. Bloody hell, 22 years. And during that time, I've always bought properties or helped clients, property investors, buy properties. I only specialize in buy-to-lets and flip-to-lets. Flip-to-let, by the way, is sometimes called buy, refurbish, refinance, but flip-to-let for me is basically where you buy something that needs some work doing to it, so you can normally get it at a good price, and then my team will manage the project for you if you would like. I've got the contractors in place. They do my own properties as well, so I'll happily connect you up with the right people. If you would like any of those services, then give me a shout. Cool, that was a sales pitch. I like it. Hey, what did you think of my sales pitch? Give me a shout, let me know. Sometimes I'm a bit apprehensive to put sales pitches into my podcast because I feel like this is more about education and advice and guidance rather than generating business. But do you know what? I suppose we've all got a living to make, haven't we? We're all trying to grow our own business, whether you're whether you're employed or self-employed or a business owner, doesn't matter. We're all trying to grow our own business. And do you know what? That all starts with knowing your business. And that starts with money day. Have a money day, schedule it in, and stick to it every single month without fail. I actually quite enjoy money days now, so hopefully you do too. Anyway, good luck everyone. Speak to you all soon.